Shalom Aleichem, a good night of Shabbos. It's Rosh Chodesh, a good Chodesh, Chodesh Kislev. It's the month of light, Hanukkah, Yutes Kislev, Tes and Yud Kislev, Yudalet Kislev, Rosh Chodesh Kislev. It's all about light, it's about inspiration, and it's about Chassidus. It's the month of Chassidus. Yutes Kislev was celebrated by Yidden throughout the world for the last 200 years. I'm researching now and writing about Chabad and its Hasidim in America from 1900 and 1950 and their relationship with the Orthodox world. And it comes across that I find Yutes Kislev parties in St. Louis, in Detroit, in Baltimore. But I want to also share a story. Well, not a story, something I read last week. They found notes that Rabbi Leibel Gronel Vasholem wrote in 1958 when the Rebbe went to Bimenachem Ovel to comfort the Bobover Rebbe, Reb Shlomo Halberstam, who lost a daughter. And this is so that they have the back and forth between the Rebbe and the Bobover Rebbe, the conversation, which is interesting in and of itself and important to read. 1958, today it looks like it's antiquity, But the story afterwards is what I want to talk about. So the formal part of the Shiva call is finished. The Rebbe already had David Mincha, because the Rebbe would David Mincha every day at 3:15 in the afternoon. This must have been, it was in Sivan and May, this must have been after the clock changes, it must have been probably 6, 7 o'clock, whatever, 7, 8 o'clock. And, the Bobover Hasidim, as well as most Hasidim, they keep Rabbeinu Tamshki and they daven very late Mincha, which for us is, for Chabad and others, is like Ma'ariv time. So the minyan was not on the same floor. This was in a building where the Bobover Rov lived in Crown Heights at the time. It was off Brooklyn Avenue, I think, in Park Place, I believe. And, or maybe it was on Brooklyn Avenue, 184, 186 Brooklyn Avenue. Anyway, so they go up to the upstairs floor to hear Mincha. And they said Kedusha, and the Rebbe said Kedusha with them. Reb Shmuel Levittin was there. He accompanied the Rebbe. And he said to the Rebbe a story with Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev and the Alter Rebbe. What's the story? That once the Alter Rebbe was with Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, and they were davening a mincha of Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, which is a late mincha. And Reb Shmuel said the question was, should the Alter Rebbe answer Kedusha? Because since the Alter Rebbe paskins Shulchan Aruch otherwise, therefore that the Shkiyas earlier, so you shouldn't be saying Kedusha and davening minchas later. So maybe you're not allowed to. Reb Shmuel said this because it doesn't say why he said it. I'm surmising. Either he said it because, and he said that he doesn't know the end of the story. Now, maybe he said it to make the Rebbe feel comfortable, that he went upstairs to answer Kedusha and participate in the minyan, even though he davened already, he prayed already. Or maybe Reb Shmuel had something else in mind. I don't know. But I want to focus on the Rebbe's answer to Reb Shmuel. And it seems from the answer that Reb Shmuel was kind of questioning the Rebbe's going upstairs to participate in mincha and answer Kedusha rather than going home. In other words, since you davened already mincha, why do you have to go upstairs? And I assume what happened is they told the people who came to Menachem Ovel, including the Rebbe, that now is mincha. Even though it was dark outside, now is mincha. So instead of the Rebbe going back to 770 or to his house, he went upstairs. So the Rebbe said to Reb Shmuel, by mir kommt es, it seems to me, as wenn Yidden sagen Kedusha, that when Jews recite Kedusha, Kodesh, 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 Nagdishach, that's called Kedusha, soll man sagen Kedusha zusammen mit den Yidden. We should say Kedusha together with the Jews, with the people. think there's a very important lesson for us. You know, there is the technicalities of Judaism, of Yiddishkeit, halacha, and there's no question about it. It's important, holy of the holies. It's gewaldig. It's really important. But there are times when a person shouldn't come from that perspective. Yes, no, maybe. Let me think about it. Let me ask a rabbi. Let me ask a rav. Yidden are standing and saying Kedusha. You have an opportunity to say Kedusha, jump up and say Kedusha with them because there are Yidden saying Kedusha. Whether Kedusha should be said then or allowed to be said then, we'll look into the halacha, you know, and of course you're allowed to say Kedusha then. Meaning to say, that's, you know, if the Rebbe said Kedusha then, that means he was allowed to. There's not even a question about it. But the Rebbe didn't answer Reb Shmuel. I looked into halacha and you're allowed to answer Kedusha. The Rebbe told Reb Shmuel Levitten, who was elder than him, I think, by 22 years, he told him, "Wenn Yidden sagen Kedusha, kommt eis bei mir." I think, seems to me, soll man sagen zusammen Kedusha, we should say together Kedusha. My friends, my chaverim, it's Rosh Chodesh Kislev. It's the month of Kislev. Today is the day when the Rebbe in 1977, after a severe heart attack, which jeopardized his life, he became better and he left 770. It's the first time. And I was there and we sang, the Rebbe is Gezunt, the Rebbe is Gezunt, the Rebbe is Gezunt, Mashiach soll schon kommen, the Rebbe is healthy, the Rebbe is healthy, the Rebbe is healthy, Mashiach should come. It's now, 44 years, 1977, 2021. 44 years later, are we still singing, the Rebbe is Gezunt, the Rebbe is Gezunt, the Rebbe is Gezunt, Mashiach soll schon kommen? How could you sing that? Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away on Gimel Tammuz. Of course he passed away. He had his stalkos, but he's here. Not only because the Zohar says so. What do you mean he's here? His Hasidim and Yidden and his brachas everywhere. And things are not just surviving, they're thriving. There's this problem, that problem, this issue. There's a big Eibishter up there. Hashem, you know about the issues. Help us a little bit. But the Rebbe is Gezunt. And how is the Rebbe Gezunt? If his Hasidim are Gezunt, if his followers are Gezunt, if those people coming to the oil for brachas or 770 for brachas, if they are Gezunt, if they're healthy, and if we'll be healthy, Mashiach will come. Let's not worry about the Rebbe's Gezunt in the sense, how can we talk about him being healthy if he's physically not here? We'll allow those discussions for greater minds than ourselves. For us simple folk, if I may say so, when it comes to Rosh Chodesh Kislev, we remind ourselves of Divrei Tzadikim Kayom Elad. The words of Tzadikim are eternal. Kedusha leizozim emkayma. Holiness doesn't move from its place. It doesn't budge. It remains there, just like the Kaisel is holy. Thousands of years later, we daven at the Kaisel, but there's no Beis HaMikdash. Who are you davening to? No, this is the place. And when did this happen? Rosh Chodesh Kislev, which is the month of light, the month of Or, Yutes Kislev, Hanukkah, the light of Hanukkah. Maybe should help each and every one of us to understand that this is important, and that we'll be zeicher soon to the Geula Shlema, Take in a Gezunt way, in a healthy way. We'll have freiliche Herzer, Herzalach, happy hearts, hearts of friendliness, of togetherness, of brotherly and sisterly love. Anash will be together more and more. Und wir zeigen die Geula Shlema bekarev mamish, amen v'amen, a guten Shabbos und a guten Rosh Chodesh Kislev.